Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I would be talking about a face primer जो कि काफ़ी famous हो रहा है recently and I wasn't sure whether the influencers or the other people are actually liking the product or is it just like a promotional activity by the brand, but the product seems pretty interesting, so I decided to give the product a try myself and see whether this particular product work for me or not. The product that I am talking about is by Renee Cosmetics and it is their Bollywood filter primer. Now you might have heard about what exactly is this primer and how it works, but if I have to summarize what exactly this particular primer do, it helps in blurring out the pores on your skin and gives your skin a Bollywood filter sort of a finish. So that is what made me curious, because I have very large pores right here around my T-zone and I would have really appreciated a product which can work on my open pores and make me look like somebody who has a flawless Bollywood skin. So yes, I bought this Renee Bollywood filter and after trying it a few times I am ready to give my thoughts about this product. So if you're interested in knowing if this Bollywood filter primer worked for my pores or not, then keep on watching. Talking about the price point of this primer, retails for 450 rupees for 30 grams of product, which is on the average side. I would say it is not very affordable, not very pricey, and if you are somebody who loves to do makeup and have to keep their makeup intact for a full day, then I would say that investing in a good primer is something that must be your priority. Now before showing you how this particular primer worked on my skin and talking about it more, let's quickly talk a little bit about the packaging of the product. So now this is how the outer box of this particular primer looks like. बहुत ही regular सा square shaped का box है जिसमें brand का name यहाँ पे mention किया गया है and the Bollywood filter thing is mentioned right here. Apart from that, अगर हम इस box पे देखें तो जो list of ingredients है and direction to use है वो सब भी इस box पे mentioned है. And on the other side of the box जो manufacturer की details है या इसकी जो manufacturing and expiry dates है वो सब इसके ऊपर mention की गई है. Now अगर हम actual tub की बात करें, this is how the tub of the primer looks like. एक बहुत ही cute looking सा tub है and since it's a transparent tub तो इसका जो product है वो हम बाहर से देख सकते हैं. काफ़ी sturdy है, black color की स्क्रू ऑन लिड है एंड व्हेन यू विल ओपन द लिड इसके अंदर एक प्रोटेक्टिव शील्ड भी दी गई है जस्ट टू प्रोटेक्ट द प्रोडक्ट एंड दिस इज हाउ द प्रोडक्ट लुक्स लाइक. कैन यू सी द कंसिस्टेंसी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट? इट इज़ अ जेल बेस्ड प्राइमर एंड दिस इज़ हाउ इट लुक्स लाइक. इसका जो जेल बेस्ड कंसिस्टेंसी है दैट मेक्स इट वेरी ईजी टू spread on the face. So yes, that's about the packaging of the product. Now let's try this product on the face. So this is how my skin looks like with just moisturizer. I'm not too sure कि आप मेरे pores देख पा रहे हैं या नहीं, but I would be using this Renee Bollywood filter primer and let's see कि ये कितना काम करता है मेरे pores के लिए. So I would be applying this particular primer सिर्फ एक side पे so that मैं before और after को compare कर सकूँ. So yes, for reference, for now this is the before. Now I would be just applying this particular one on the right side of my face. I have already talked about the consistency of this particular one. It has a very gel sort of a consistency. So I'll just pick a tiny bit of product and would apply it on my face. It is very easy to apply. It feels very soft and नॉर्मली जितना प्राइमर लेती हूँ उससे थोड़ा ज़्यादा प्राइमर लिया है. आई विल बी ऑनेस्ट बिकॉज दिस इज़ नॉट माई फर्स्ट टाइम ट्राइंग दिस प्रोडक्ट, सो आई नो हाउ दिस वर्क्स फॉर मी. नाउ इस सेक्शन में मेरे सबसे ज़्यादा पोर्स हैं, सो मैंने सबसे पहले यहाँ पे अप्लाई किया है एंड आफ्टर दैट जितना भी मेरे फिंगर्स पे बचा है आई वुड बी अप्लाइंग इट इन द अदर सेक्शंस ऑफ माई फेस. सो येस, आई विल जस्ट डैब इट वेरी नाइसली अराउंड माई नोज एंड माई cheek area. So this is how it looks like when completely done. Here I have applied the primer and यहाँ पे मैंने primer apply नहीं किया हुआ है and I do feel that I can see a difference right now. I'll try and zoom you guys a little bit more so that मैं आपको exactly इस area का situation दिखा सकूँ. So this is how it looks like. And this is like the before. I have a lot of like redness on my cheeks right now, but that is not the point of the video. You can see pores right here and this is the area जहाँ पे मैंने ये particular primer apply किया हुआ है. So I think that it does make a difference. It does make my skin look different. So yes, I'll now quickly just go and apply my full face of makeup and then we'll show you कि ये primer face पे कैसा लगता है and I would be back with my final thoughts on this primer. Like, so yes, this is how my face looks like when I have completely done my makeup. Let's talk about what exactly do I feel about this primer. You have seen how my face looks like before I applied the primer, after I applied the primer, and now when I have completely done my makeup after using the primer. So I would actually say that I would give this primer a 3 out of 5. I am not very impressed with this primer, nor I hate this primer. Now let's talk about why I exactly feel this way. You must have seen in the very first part of the demo section that my pores did look a little bit better when I applied this particular primer, but the primer needs to be dabbed on the skin rather than just applying it like this, because I personally feel that this is the way it works for me the best. The very first time that I applied this primer, I just applied it like a normal regular primer and just applied it in this manner, but after like a 30 or 40 minutes time span, it didn't actually work for me. My pores were still equally visible, although yes, my skin was feeling very smooth, but after like 5 to 10 minutes of application, I couldn't see a lot of difference in my pores, and that was the time when I made a shorts video sharing my first impression with this particular primer. But yes, it did feel very soft and very smooth, and my skin did feel ready for the foundation, but I wasn't able to see a lot of difference in my pores. So the second time then I applied I used a dapping motion and applied a little bit more product than the previous time, and it did work. But again, something happened. When I applied my foundation, it went perfectly well. By the way, I applied my Maybelline Fit Me foundation and it looked very nice on my skin. My pores were looking decent, but then I went ahead and applied my other face products, and I used the Swiss Beauty Crazyaboutcolors palette, which I actually love. I have made a full review video on that particular palette, and I have shared how I feel about that palette. But all the 3 products that I applied on my face from that particular palette looked blotchy. Now again, this is not just the one time that I did this. I tried using the combination of Renee Cosmetics Bollywood Filter Primer with Maybelline Fit Me Foundation and the Crazyaboutcolors palette from Swiss Beauty, and the same thing happened the second time as well. My makeup was looking very blotchy. So the next time when I applied this particular foundation, I basically thought that it is the formula of the products, the primer and the Swiss Beauty palette, that are not working well together. So I used other products. I applied my NARS Laguna bronzer, which I have done right now. I have applied my NARS Laguna bronzer and my Physicians Formula blush, and initially it looked very pretty. It was not blotchy at all and it was looking good initially, but the same thing happened again. After almost around 3 to 4 hours of application, my face started looking blotchy, and the pores were as visible as they were initially without applying this particular primer. I won't say that I love the way my makeup looked, but yes, it was just like how normal regular makeup looks like, and this particular primer did not actually work the way I expected it to. Maybe I had a lot of expectations from this primer, but for me this particular primer did not work as well. I did see a little bit of difference in my pores initially, and maybe till like 3 to 4 hours of application, but I did not personally like the way this particular primer makes my makeup look like. I do not like my makeup to be blotchy, and it is not just the case with the Swiss Beauty Crazyaboutcolors palette, but as I said, I have tried a few other brands and this particular primer do not seem to work very well with the others as well. So overall for me, that is the reason I initially gave this primer a 3.5 out of 5. This particular primer does work, but it doesn't make your makeup look good. If you're just going for a no makeup look, then maybe it looks good on your skin. But if you are somebody who apply a proper bronzer, blush, highlighter and all sorts of face products, then I do not think that this might be something that will work for you, especially if you have large pores just like me. It did not work very well for me, but since I have bought this particular primer, I would be using it, but only in the situations where I have to just go out for 3 to 4 hours, because I know after that this particular primer will make my makeup look blotchy, which usually doesn't happen with me. So that being said, that's all about my experience with Renee Cosmetics Bollywood Filter Primer. Do let me know if you have tried this particular primer and whether this particular one has worked for you or not. So yes, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed watching today's video. If you like today's video, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and do consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching my video. See you in my next video. Namaste.